Human experience, you realize when you put a healthy child in the same room with a sick child, most of the time you end up with 2 sick children. Moral of the story, to be great, to be disciplined, to be healthy, you have to hang around with the great, disciplined, and healthy ones. When you become parents, we have to bite our lip, bite our tongue so often. But the tendency is to say, don't hang with him. Don't hang out with her. Why? Yeah, bad influence. They might not be physically sick, but they're emotionally sick, and we can't take a chance. The flip side of that when it comes to leadership, put yourself in the position of a loving mom, a loving dad who has a troubled child. And they know that the only way that troubled child can find him or herself again and get back on the track is if they hang around with disciplined, healthy, great ones. So if you're serious about being a leader, what we have to do is strengthen ourselves so that the hard-to-catch horses and sick children do not make us sick, do not drag us down, do not take us away down a different path that we had decided upon before we started to play. We've got to be strong as individuals before we can help others strengthen themselves, and that's leadership practical application 101. So as I challenge you to leave here and write your one-page practical application implementation essay, the question is not what will you do, it's who will you be. And too many times in college, the only question we ask is, so what do you major in? What are you going to do for the rest of your life? What job are you seeking? And I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter what you do, it matters who you are and why you do it. You have any questions? I've got another story I really want to share. Do you have any questions? Yes, ma'am. What's your name?
I'm Christine.
Christine. How old are you? What year are you?
In the program or at school?
In the program at school? Yeah. Whatever.
Second year.
In the program. Have you created a 12-step deal here, Dr. Jackson, that I don't know about? Yeah.
No, I'm a junior.
Ah, good. What are you studying?
International business.
Ah, good. Why would somebody want to do business with you?
Well,
Because you have straight A's and you have this amazing degree and you have 19 letters behind your name?
because I'm excited and I have a lot of vision. But
Wait a second. We got to get this on tape. Some of these guys are like, whoa, what's her number? This is going to be good. This could be like eharmony.com right out of the chute. Do you know who you're sitting next to?
I'm lucky.
You're a dang lucky.
okay, I was just going to ask, you said that most of the questions we ask are what you just basically asked me. So if we want to ask someone about who they want to be and why, you just say, hey, Tyler, who do you want to be and why? Like, how do you ask them?
Okay, that's a good question. But the question isn't who do you want to be, because if you spend all your time, Tyler, are you Tyler?
Yeah.
If you spend all your time trying to be somebody else, who's going to be you? You're going to make a lousy somebody else. We want qualities like these people. What qualities do you want? What qualities of leadership are you seeking? And you make them a habit. Discipline has nothing to do with success. It's only about habits. And habits come by answering why. Once you answer why, figuring out the how-to is pretty simple. Let me just share my own personal story to just kind of help you answer that. I played football for 13 years. One day in practice, the dream ended. We had a tackling drill. Coach blew the whistle. 2 of us ran into each other full speed. The only parts of our bodies that made contact, Lyle's helmet hit my neck and my right shoulder. We fell to the ground. When he got off of me, I drooped, had loss of speech, couldn't talk. Right side stayed paralyzed. My arm dangled at my side. Interesting. In 1 second, my life changed. Do you believe one moment in time changes everything? Do you believe that? Do you believe you can leave this room different than you were when you arrived? Do you believe that? I do. One of my favorite all-time experiences. I'm on the program with Henry Winkler, the Fonzie from Happy Days. One of the funniest guys I've ever met. He decides he wants to take some time off, treat himself to a matinee movie. Slides in through the side exit door of the theater. As Henry Winkler shuffles himself through the aisle, he finds himself a vacant seat. As Henry Winkler turns to sit down on the chair to look up at the movie screen, the little girl sitting right behind him smiles this giant smile, points her finger and slowly says, Fonzie. Henry Winkler immediately snaps into the Fonzie character from Happy Days. Hey, whoa. And the lady sitting next to the little girl passes out. Henry Winkler milks the moment. Whoa, I thought this only happened on TV drama. Hey, how cool is this? Whoa. Theater manager comes out, takes care of the woman's needs. She's lying in the aisle, cold pack on her forehead. She is asked one question: why did you pass out? She said, my little girl is autistic. And that is the very first word she has ever spoken in her entire life. How dare anybody get themselves in a situation where they want to end their life? because Johnny broke up with me, or Ashley stopped smiling at me at the drinking fountain, or I just flunked a test, or I just got in this big accident. This car hit me. See, you're infinite beings. You got to hang tough no matter what. And if you don't have a steady relationship right now, change what's attracting. People are not attracting people to you. Well, I don't want to be around him. He's negative. I don't want to be around her. I don't want to be around him. He's so easy to get what you want and then want what you get. And the reason why I bring that up is because when I hit rock bottom, I lost my identity. I thought I was a football player when in reality that's just what I did. It's not who I am as a man. And when we identify ourselves in terms of what we do instead of who we are, we become a human doing instead of a human being. Unacceptable of success is what we seek. Back to my story. I hit rock bottom. I was paralyzed for 1 full year. It took me another year to get better. Everybody wants to know, why were you paralyzed? The answer is because I was asking the wrong questions, and this ties right into what you asked me, my friend. The reason why I stayed paralyzed for a year and didn't get better is because I was asking the doctors how to get better when I should have been asking myself, why should I get better? And once we answer why, figuring out the how-to is pretty simple. Why should you stay married? Why should you be a good friend? Why should you be true to your beliefs? Why should you graduate from UVU? Why? And you realize once I answered why, I was able to get back up and go again. Because until I answered why, I thought I was depressed. What happens when you think you're depressed? You are. If I'm going too fast, raise your hands. Don't raise your hand if you are depressed, if you think you're depressed. Raise your hand if you know somebody who says, I'm depressed. Raise your hand if you think somebody's depressed in your life. Coworker, friend, family member. May I just make a bold statement? Most people who say they're depressed are not depressed. I hit rock bottom, and I thought I was depressed. And when you think you're depressed, you have all kinds of excuses. You start thinking things through, and you enter into the paralysis of analysis, and pretty soon you lose focus, and you don't understand why you're even doing anything, and you just become this robot. And of course, if you're a robot with no passion, creativity, and imagination, and no purpose, you're going to get down, but you're not going to be depressed. The reason why I was able to get back up is because I discovered through the question and answer process, there's a giant difference between being depressed and being disappointed. Giant difference between being depressed and being discouraged. And if you're disappointed or discouraged, just dream a dream. Hang around with some folks who will fire you up and get you to believe that you can't quit. It's a league rule. People come to me all the time, I'm depressed. I'm like, so let's just figure out your life. Let's just draw a little circle. Physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, social, financial, and family. There's 7 areas to life. Let's just make it a little wheel. And you grade yourself 1 through 10, and let's just go with the dotted line. Okay, physical, you're pretty good shape, taking good care of yourself, you're about an 8. Okay, mentally, yeah, you're in school, you're really working hard. Maybe that's a 9. Spiritually, maybe it's a 7, you got it together. Emotion, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, you draw this little, you connect the dots, you draw the wheel, and all of a sudden you realize that it's not circular at all. You're like this. And you realize that's why your day is a rough ride. So you don't give up and say, I'm depressed. What you do is you round out your wheel. Got to just do a little bit more today on my physical. Just a little bit more today on my physical. And if you feel like you're overweight and sluggish, don't raise your hands. And if you ladies look at yourself in the mirror,